We just had a conversation with Charlie Munger about a week and a half ago, and I asked him if he thought the golden era of value investing was over. And he said, no, not for forever, but he thinks the game is a lot harder than it used to be. What are your thoughts just in terms of looking around, trying to find businesses, trying to find pieces of business versus when you started the game?
Well, it's harder for two reasons, one of which is peculiar to us, is we've got a lot more money. So our universe of possible things to do has shrunk from thousands and thousands of things that I used to look at when I had small amounts of money to relatively few things now.
See, that seems to defy logic. I have more money, so I have fewer things I can do. But it's just because a deal, it's got to be much bigger.
It doesn't move the needle. Yeah. So no, there's probably 100 stocks. You know, if we put $5 billion in something and it's 10% of the market cap, which would be as much as it would be, you're talking 50 billion in up market caps. And 5 billion is 1% of Berkshire's value. So if it goes up 50%, we make a 0.5%, you know, basically on value before tax, 40 basis points afterwards.
I'd love to have your problems.
Yeah. So, and then the second thing is, I mean, obviously got way more competition than when we started in really when I took Ben Graham's class in 1951. I mean, the whole world was my oyster because people were not going through the manuals, and you had to. It's easier to get the data now, for one thing. I mean, just with the internet, far easier. And I used to mail away for annual reports and go to the Interstate Commerce Commission, the Public Utility Commission, the Insurance Commission. I went to all those offices and dug through papers, and now it's, you know, it takes five seconds for somebody to get the same information.
I'll ask this very fleetingly. Has your position changed on Bitcoin?
No, I mean, it's too bad, but Bitcoin, it's ingenious, and blockchain is important, but Bitcoin has no unique value at all. It doesn't produce anything. You can stare at it all day and no little Bitcoins come out or anything like that. It's a delusion, basically.
So we've gone from rat poison squared to a delusion. Well, that's kind of an upgrade.
Yeah, I don't. Who knows where we'll be next year? But I'm really sorry it happens, because people get their hopes up that something like that is going to change their lives, and it was a very ingenious thing to figure out how to have a limited supply and make it harder more expensive to create them as you go along, and all that sort of thing. But it doesn't. The function. And this is explained to me by people a lot smarter than I am, but they say blockchain does not depend on, you know, and J.P. Morgan is talking about creating their own, you know, JPM, and it'll be worth $1. I mean, it's matched to the dollar to dollar, and I'm sympathetic to people that own it.